Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
Hello, this is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. It is Tuesday, October 24th. And in a follow-up to yesterday's story on the arrest of Sheriff Bateman's stepson, we have some more details the county police have released. Walter Paul Robinson Jr., 23 of Ellicott City, was picked up on Wednesday, October 18th, at the Arundel Mills Mall by Anne Arundel County Police. Robinson had called his sister and made specific threats to shoot Sheriff Ron Bateman in the face and allow his wife, which is also Robinson's mother, Elsie Bateman, to watch. He continued to his sister that he would pistol whip Elsie and then cut her up into pieces. Robinson was wanted on a violation of probation. According to his sister, Robinson believes that it is Ron and Elsie's fault that he violated his probation and feels that it would be their fault if he goes to jail. Robinson did state that he had a gun, and he also stated that he would get a Glock to take someone's life when he didn't care because someone will die if he goes to jail. In addition, Robinson did threaten his sister Nicole and her family and anyone else who got in his way, including the police. He stated to Nicole that if anyone calls the police and tries to get him locked up, he will just start killing everybody because he has nothing to lose. When he has finished killing who he can, he will take his own life. Robinson is currently being held without bail after being released from BWMC after an initial evaluation. The full police report and the story is available at eyeonannapolis.net. I'm not sure whether this is a good thing or a bad thing for Baltimore, but Baltimore Rising, a documentary about the death of Freddie Gray in police custody and the ensuing unrest, has released the first trailer for the film. The film is set to debut on HBO and HBO Go on November 20th. Governor Hogan has authorized sending 100 of the Maryland National Guard troops to the U.S. Virgin Islands to assist in the cleanup and recovery after Hurricane Maria and Hurricane Irma. The troops will assist local law enforcement in protecting the infrastructure. At last night's Annapolis City Council meeting, 2 members of the Housing Authority of the City of Annapolis Board, including their chairwoman, Sandra Chapman, took to the podium during public comment to urge outgoing CEO Beverly Wilborn to reconsider her decision to leave the beleaguered authority. Wilborn had signed up for a 6-month gig, which is up, and HACA is looking to replace her by having a search committee led by Board Commissioner John Dillon. The Housing Authority is in a precarious situation with having to answer to the federal authorities on the misuse of funds, continuing derelict conditions of the properties, and now transitioning into a new RAD program. Under Armour is making a few changes. They plan to exit a few of their smaller sports categories as it struggles with declining sales. According to the Wall Street Journal, categories such as tennis, outdoor gear, and fishing, who knew they did fishing, are reported to be cut. They also report that Under Armour co-founder and strategic advisor Kip Fulks has taken a sabbatical from the company. Fulks, who's 45 and a classmate of Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank, has played multiple roles in the company. A sabbatical is a company benefit offered to all employees of 10 years or more, so that's not necessarily anything foreboding. Time is quickly running out to find that perfect Halloween costume for a party. Maybe it's this weekend or next week. Inflatable costumes like a dinosaur or a hippopotamus are still very popular. For little girls, Uma from the movie The Descendants is very popular among girls. And little boys are asking for the scary clown from It. Superheroes are big among little kids and grown-ups. Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad are being bought by plenty of adult women. And when it comes to men, it's a little bit more difficult to figure out. Many times men will wear just a funny costume or wear a partner costume with their girlfriend or wife. And one final quick reminder, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, head on over to the Lighthouse Bistro from 5 to 7 during their happy hour. See what the restaurant is all about, and Tim Hamilton, my co-host on the Maryland Crabs, and I will be there co-guest bartending. And actually, we're not going to bartend. We're probably going to just sling beers and say hello. But do stop by from 5 to 7 at the Lighthouse Bistro. It's right in the 200 block of West Street. You can park in the Knighton Garage, and it's about a block and a half walk. And I hope to see you there.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George from DMV Weather. Here's your Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, October 24th. We had a cold front move through overnight early this morning, and we had warm temps to start the day just after midnight, but temps have fallen off a bit into the 60s as the rain moved through. We really didn't get that much rain, less than 1/10 of an inch in downtown Annapolis, and not much more at BWI Airport. And the temps have fallen back a bit into the 60s. They should rebound a little bit today. Upper 60s, low 70s, then the colder air will come in as the front fully moves off to our east and the circulation of the air in our area turns back to the northwest. We did post a target high temp for BWI and downtown Annapolis today of 74 degrees, and that's probably accurate based on temps just after midnight. But right now we're looking at highs that'll probably in the daytime be upper 60s to low 70s. Tonight we're going to look for things to cool off in the 40s and 50s, and then tomorrow and Thursday we are looking at much cooler high temps, upper 50s and low 60s, with lows in the 40 to 50 degree range each night. Cool temps will stick around Saturday and into the weekend, and then we'll have another cold front that comes through, probably bringing some rain on Sunday, and then we'll see maybe the coolest temps of the season with low to mid 50s for high temps, probably Monday into Tuesday. Okay, that's it for us today. Be sure to download our free app by searching for DC MDVA Weather in your app store, and also be sure to follow us 24/7, 365 on our website at dmvweather.com or on social media via Twitter or Facebook. This is George Young of DMV Weather with your Annapolis forecast. Whatever the weather out there, have fun and be safe.
The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief is possible in part because of the incredible generosity and support of the Ram's Head on Stage. Ram's Head, where every seat is less than 48 feet from the stage, brings more than 400 concerts and events a year to the area. To wet your whistle, check out some of these upcoming shows. On Saturday, a special afternoon show, and this is kind of unusual. The Laughs and Drafts comedy series will continue with Justin Scott and Spiegel from 98 Rock. Showtime for this uncensored show is 1 p.m. Saturday night is a burlescapade. In a first ever, I think it's the first ever, for Ram's Head, they are bringing Angie Portani and a New York burlesque troupe in for a Halloween spooktacular. The doors are 7 and showtime is at 8 p.m. Next week brings Vonda Shepard, who we will be speaking with on the Maryland Crabs in just a few days, John Lodge from the Moody Blues, and more comedy with the best of Second City on November 5th. Because who doesn't need some comedy 2 days before an election? Tickets are still available for all of these shows, and you can get yours at ramsheadonstage.com, or if you want to go old school, head on down to their box office. It's located in the heart of beautiful downtown Annapolis at 33 West Street, and for a guaranteed great night out on the town, ramsheadonstage.com.
They say opinions are like... Here we are with a dose of opinion for you.
Well, hey, it took a while, but podcasts are really taking off. Sure, they've been around for more than a decade, but they are just now starting to come into their own right. The topics, they're spread across the board. If you have an interest in it, quite likely there's a podcast for it. Oftentimes I get asked when I have the time to listen to podcasts, and I find it relatively easy. I try to walk about 6 miles every morning, and that's one of my prime podcasting times. The other one is in longer car rides when I'm alone. The other question I get asked is, what podcasts do I listen to? And while some of them are larger national casts, like the New York Times, The Daily, and I love Chris Gethard's Beautiful Anonymous, there are a bunch with local roots that I do enjoy. The Annapolis podcast really started it off locally here, and that's hosted by local attorney and candidate for District 6 Councilman Scott McMullen. That's a great one. It really digs into the stories of Annapolis, from everyday people to notable people. More Power to You is former Mayor Josh Cohen's podcast, which focuses on clean energy. Keeping in the Green Realm, Elvia Thompson from Annapolis Green and Green Drinks is threatening to launch a new podcast soon. I just spoke with Heather Mazur, who just launched her podcast called Ms. Maryland Soul Force Politics, and she kicked it off with 2 episodes, one with an interview with Melissa Etheridge and the other one with Barbara Mikulski. Of course, there's the Naptown Pintcast with everyone's favorite Naptown Pint by Liz Murphy, all things beer. For the conservative in you, or for the liberal in you that just wants to find out what the conservatives are doing, the Red Maryland Network has several conservative shows from which to choose. And a personal tip from me, skip the Rob Carson stuff. He's piped in from somewhere in the Midwest. A little bit of a blowhard. On the lighter side, much lighter, Pasadena native and current Denmark resident Ray Weaver just launched A Father's Heart, where Ray tells the stories of how his songs came to be, and then he plays the song. Oh, and by the way, Ray is an award-winning songwriter, and when he's back in the States, he always plays locally, usually at Galway Bay, Brian Boru, Killarney House, Pirates Cove. Check him out. Highly recommended for a songwriter. Great podcast. And there's a new one that I just discovered last night called B-Indie3, and that's B-E-E-I-N-D-E-E 3. And that is produced by Tori Snow, who is a Capital columnist for the Capital Gazette here in Annapolis. He lives up Severn Way, and I just reached out to him by email, and we're going to try to see if we can get together and see if we can work together a little bit. But check that one out, too. B-Indie3. He had a really good interview with Anne Arundel County Councilman Michael Perutka. And, of course, you've got this one, which comes out Monday through Friday at noon, and my other project, the Maryland Crabs. If you haven't stumbled on the Maryland Crabs yet, do check it out. We have some great guests, some fun ideas, and this year, now that we have our act together, we will be spreading our wings to the other regions of Maryland. Tim will handle the Ocean City ones. I have a 55-year streak going of never having visited the city, and I'm trying to keep it. And I do recommend you listen to them all. At least check them out. But listening is not all. Take a moment to give us all a rating or a review. It's easy, it's fast, and it really helps us all grow. So there you are, my podcast listening habits in under 5 minutes. And that's what I'm thinking today.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at noon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.